guys. In this video, we are going to be making one of the most delicious desserts you can possibly make if you really want to impress somebody. Maybe you're having guests, maybe you're having family over, maybe you just want to impress a date or your husband. This is the dessert to make, and it's really not that difficult. You just have to sort of think ahead a little bit. You can't make this dish because in like a day, because there are steps. So we're gonna make tiramisu. You, I'm sure, have had tiramisu at a restaurant or something like that before. If you know, you know. It's such a delicious dessert, especially if it's made right. So I'm gonna be using as a guide today the tiramisu recipe from let's see if y'all can see, Taste Better from Scratch. So we're gonna be using this recipe as kind of a guide. If you go online and look at recipes, you're gonna find that there are quite a few different sort of variations and recommendations on how to make tiramisu. And then of course, to make tiramisu, you have to have Ladyfingers. Now, most people are gonna go to the grocery store and buy Ladyfingers, but do not do that because, well, one, you can make them at home. It's really easy. You do need a lot of eggs, so I'm gonna show you guys that. And the second reason why don't buy the Ladyfingers is the Ladyfingers options at the grocery store do not have very good ingredients, okay? They have preservatives and just all kinds of subpar ingredients, and honestly, Ladyfingers aren't a very complicated cookie. They're pretty easy to make. Just make them at home, make them yourself. So we're gonna be doing that today, right now, and then I'm gonna go get some work done in my office. But since I need to make these Ladyfingers ahead of time, I thought, well, we'll throw these together right now, and that way, when we're ready to go and make the rest of the components of the tiramisu, our Ladyfingers will be done and ready for us. So this is the recipe we're going to be using. As you can see, this came from Sugar Spun Rum. Sugar Spun Rum is the recipe we're going to be going off of. So for this recipe, you're going to need 6 large eggs, okay? So keep that in mind if you're gonna make this recipe. I do remember, however, that this recipe makes quite a few Ladyfingers. So because I don't need a ginormous batch of tiramisu, I think what I'm gonna do is I am gonna make half the amount of Ladyfingers that it's recommending, because this is a dessert that's nice to eat fresh. I think you might be able to freeze tiramisu. You could definitely look that up. I prefer not to freeze it. I think I'm gonna do half a batch of Ladyfingers and see how many that gets us. But if you're gonna do a full recipe of Ladyfingers, you're gonna need 6 large eggs, a cup of sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, salt, flour, cornstarch, pretty basic ingredients, okay? First step, we're gonna preheat our oven to 350. Next, we are going to get the rest of our ingredients ready. We're gonna mise en place. So we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar to one bowl, which will go into our egg whites, and we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar to the other bowl. That way I just have them pre-measured and set aside. Add your egg whites to a clean, dry bowl, and you're just gonna whip these till you have nice, fluffy peaks. Now that our egg whites are nice and starting to get fluffy, I split the sugar, so because I'm doing a half batch, so I'm only using 3 eggs instead of 6 eggs, and then I'm gonna do a half cup of sugar total in this recipe instead of 1 cup. I am gonna add a 1/4 cup, so half of my sugar, to the egg white mixture. And I'm just gonna slowly add the sugar as I beat, and it should be nice and fluffy with nice stiff peaks. Okay, I have nice stiff peaks on my egg whites, so I'm gonna take my beaters off. Screw that, I'm gonna put them back on. We're gonna set our egg whites aside, and we're gonna bring our egg yolks over. So these are the 3 egg yolks that we had separated, our whites. We're gonna add them to this bowl. See, it kind of sticks to the bowl there. All right, so we're combining our 3 egg yolks, a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and then the rest of our sugar, so a 1/4 cup of sugar in with our yolk. And we are going to beat this till it's nice and thick and kind of almost fluffy. It should have like a pale yellow look. As you can see, our yolk mixture is very thick. It's kind of fluffy, probably gotten a little bit like increased in volume quite a bit. We are going to take our egg yolk mixture and combine it with our egg white mixture. We are then gonna gently fold all of this together very gently. Next, we're gonna be slowly adding our 3/4 cup of flour and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. It says to sift it into the mixture, but I just don't feel like doing that. So instead, we're just gonna slowly fold little bits of flour in at a time, and we're gonna skip the sifting process. I have made tiramisu for, I wanna say, my husband's birthday. I think I've made it, I know we've made it at Christmas. Yeah, it's just one of those desserts that's so, it has like textures. It's like very decadent, but it's not like as heavy as like cheesecake is. Cheesecake to me is, I mean, I've never like been like, oh my goodness, tasted cheesecake and then like give me another bite. And I think it's because cheesecake is so heavy to me, and tiramisu is a lot lighter and fluffier texture, more like whipped cream almost, which I do love the texture of whipped cream. The other thing I love about tiramisu as a dessert is it's not overly sweet. It has like the rich flavor from the espresso and the dark cocoa powder, and the cream mixture, which you're gonna see us make later. It's not like a sickening sweet kind of a dessert. It tastes very luxurious and decadent, but it's not like, oh, that's so sweet that it's almost not yummy. Like, I think cake is one of those desserts that's just really not that good, because it's generally like, cake is very sweet and it's very one note, you know what I'm saying? Same with like cupcakes, things like that. And I kind of find cheesecake to be that way as well. Cheesecake to me is just very one note. I mean, if you're gonna have dessert, it should be like really fun to eat, I feel like, because dessert is this thing you make that's just for like the art of the thing. It's about making something that is like beautiful and decadent, and like you could have a few bites and just feel like you had an experience, versus I'm just eating this to have the sugar, because obviously like dessert doesn't have any nutritional value. It's just one of those things that it's kind of a fun art form. I think that's why I like making desserts. I don't really like crave sweets. I'm more of a savory person. I just think sweets are a bit dangerous. Like, if you're very addicted to desserts or sweets, obviously that's not good for you. That's just not good. So, but I love the art form of desserts, so I enjoy making them on occasion. We're gonna put these in an oven. The recipe says 14 to 15 minutes, but if I'm being quite honest with you, these are a little bit smaller, so we might check these at the 10-minute mark, because I think they're gonna cook really, really fast. The Ladyfingers have been in for a little over 10 minutes, and I think we're gonna give them another 4 to 5 minutes. I think they should have just the slightest bit of golden brown on the outside.
Set maybe your timer for like 55 minutes instead of 45, because they're gonna run a little longer than planned. Oh.
Was the uphill difficult?
It's gonna make life easier.
Yeah.
We had to stop twice. It was brutal.
Didn't stop. Walk
Sorry, we watched.
for like 5 feet.
It just reminded me of when I was pushing the soil at Costco. Like the muscle that was burning was right above the kneecap. Sunglasses are working though.
But I just am mad at myself. I'm just gonna take it.
Alright guys, they are about to take off for another 6 miles. So I'll see them 6 miles from now. Good morning, you guys. I just met up with Val and Andrew, and they are running, I think, 16 miles today. So I was supposed to meet up with them at one of their spots and give them some water. They are going to run another 6 miles. So I will meet up with them in about 45 minutes. So I have about 45 minutes to walk. It's pretty cold out this morning. I think it's 30-something degrees. Maybe it's 40 degrees. But it's a beautiful sunny day here. Sunshine's great, blue sky is great. It's great to be on a walk this morning, and there's no wind, which is a super big win. Yesterday was a super productive day. We got lots of work done. I say several hours of like very productive work done. But then in the afternoon, we went out to the garage and we cleaned out our entire garage. I vacuumed out every crook and cranny, just did like a nice spring clean. And then we also set up our 5th raised bed. We filled it with soil. I'm gonna plant soon-ish, especially the colder tolerant crops like arugula and spinach and things like that. We might do that today. We might have a couple more nights that are below freezing, but I'm really hoping we're kind of out of the woods, especially since we're down in the valley and we're not really that high up. We're pretty far north here, so you can't plant too early. You gotta be really careful and not plant too early in the spring. So we'll see how it goes.
11 total.
11? How far are you running?
We're doing another 6.
Another 6? Oh my goodness.
I need to change I'm gonna take off my shirt.
How are you feeling, Val?
Actually, pretty good.
Hey, I just got back to the house, guys. Andrew and Val should be back in about, I don't know, 30 minutes. They're running, I met them at the 12-mile mark last, and so they had another 11-mile mark, and they had like another 6 miles to run. I think I'm like ready to plant. It should be fun. I'll take you guys along. I'm gonna make myself some breakfast. I have an English muffin in the toaster. You know, it's like one of those mornings where it's like I'm not sure what to make for breakfast, so you just kind of start putting food on a plate. Anyway, that doesn't happen to me very often, especially for breakfast. Normally for breakfast, I'm like, this sounds good, and then I make it. But yeah, so I planted arugula last fall because I was trying to get like a fall crop of something for like lettuce greens. And I knew that the arugula would last through the fall. It's a cold tolerant crop. And shockingly enough, it did last most of the winter, and then at one point it got so cold that it looked like it had just died. Like it got really cold here at one point, like I don't know, 0 degrees or something close to that. And so after that cold spell hit during the winter, the arugula just looked dead, like dead. I was just out there this morning when I came inside, and the arugula is like fully back. Like it's green and bushy. I'm so confused. I didn't know arugula could just last that long and it would like fully come back to life. So that's pretty amazing. I think based off the fact that my arugula lasted all winter long and is now coming back to life, I think I can go ahead and plant. I was warned by some people who live here that you should not plant around here until May because you just get too many. Oh, I didn't turn the toaster on. I'm like standing here talking to you guys thinking that my English muffin is toasting, and it's not. Sitting in the toaster. Anyway, I was warned by somebody who has lived here longer than me not to try planting anything till May because of the frosts. But I'm feeling pretty confident, and I live in the valley, and so I feel like we're a lower elevation. Should be good to plant. All right, guys, I'm gonna make something for breakfast. So far, We have an English muffin toasting. Sure what else to have this morning. I guess I could have eggs, pesto. Maybe I'll have some. Okay, this is what we have so far. We've got some cheesy eggs, an English muffin. I'm gonna put some pesto. At this point, guys, we just need fuel. Almost 10 o'clock, which I woke up at 4:30 a.m. this morning, so I haven't eaten yet, so I'm pretty hungry. All right, this is the final product. We got some cheesy eggs, pesto, and an English muffin. And we are going to, do some planting. Can't wait. Summer's almost here. It's actually pretty good. I think it's because the pesto is so good. This is our homemade pesto from last summer. Last summer we had a great basil harvest, so I was making probably a fresh batch of pesto every week just to keep the, because with basil you have to keep picking it or it goes to seed, so I just kept picking my basil every week and it would grow back and grow back, so I was able to make so many batches of homemade pesto last summer. I think I still have a couple more jars in the freezer. We've been eating on it all winter, so that's exciting. Egg, cheese, pesto on an English muffin. I was super happy that I could grow all the basil I needed or wanted. Pesto at the grocery store just does not taste the same. It is not that good. And normally it has like canola oil in it as well, which isn't that great for you. Not very many pestos use just olive oil. I mean, homemade pesto, it's unmatched. It's so good. Flavors in homemade pesto are so vibrant and just delicious. It's so easy to freeze. It tastes delicious. You can thaw it out and it's gonna be just as good as when you made the day you made it. You can grow basil from seed. You can start it now. So easy to grow. You can grow it in containers, like large flower pots. The basil I grew in flower pots did better than the basil I did in the raised bed. I'm not sure why, but it did. I think maybe it was because basil really likes sunshine. I was able to move the flower pots into the nicest part of the garden where the sun was shining, versus basil, if it gets stuck behind another plant or it's not getting enough sun, it can have issues. I actually highly recommend growing basil in pots, like large flower pots that you can just move around your garden. Depending on the time of year, the sun is gonna hit different parts of the garden more, depending if it's early summer or late summer. You don't garden and you love cooking with fresh herbs, just plant some fresh herbs. And if you love pesto like I love pesto, you can grow it in a couple flower pots and you can get enough off your basil plants if you take care of them to just continuously make batches of pesto all summer long. You just keep freezing a few jars each week, putting it away for winter, and then you can eat it fresh as well. So I would normally make a fresh batch every week and I would freeze a few jars and then make one jar fresh that day or something. Got my water bottle. Let's see. Garden slippers. I already said this, but I deep cleaned the garage yesterday. I literally vacuumed all the dirt, all the grass, all the cobwebs. I organized the shoes, cleaned the freezer, cleaned around all those bins, got this area organized all the garden tools. Time to head out. Spinach. Plant seeds directly into the garden starting 4 to 6 weeks before average last frost date. Look really quick. And then I'm gonna also plant carrots. I'm gonna plant lettuce. This is our garlic. It's all coming up. We planted this last October. A really strong garlic harvest this summer. Creating our own soil.
Parsley and some basil.
parsley, thyme. We're not doing that.
Alright, y'all, we got some starts going. Parsley, 2 trays of basil. And then right here we have regular tomatoes. This is just a map. You can see this is like the fence line, driveway, yard, and then the road. And then these are all the beds. Just be aware they're not drawn to size. Because I forgot I had to squeeze that bed in there. And then I just wrote like, oh, data collection, it frosted last night. You know, like these ones get less sun, so we'll know, okay, you know, did the beets do better here or here? We can.
Hey guys, it is about 6 o'clock and I am just feeding the starter. I think I'm gonna try to make hamburger buns or pizza dough tomorrow. After we gardened, we just came in and had lunch, and then we've been playing cards, just kind of relaxing all afternoon since it is the weekend. So I was gonna show you guys how I like to do my starter. I just keep my starter in the fridge unless I wanna make something, and then if I wanna make something, I'll take it out, I'll add water to it, I will add flour to it, and at that point, I'll dump half of it into the bowl. I'll set out half aside for whatever I wanna make, and the other half I just put back in the fridge. Okay, so I have a little bowl here. And then once I've added water to my starter, I just dump it in the bowl so it's easy to mix up. Got some bread flour here. And I just kind of mix it up, and I just am looking for a specific consistency. I do not measure when I feed my starter. It's kind of like that. I'm not sure if you guys can see, it's so sunny in here. All right, and then I'm gonna put half of the starter back in this glass jar, and the other half we're gonna put in this bowl, and I'll let this kind of activate overnight. Normally, I would only let my starter activate for like maybe 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours, and I would make something out of it, but I don't wanna stay up and really make something out of it later this evening, so I'm just gonna go ahead, and now that I've fed my starter, I'm gonna put part of it in here, and I'm gonna put part of it in like back in the jar. Then I'll take it out and feed it up so that I can kind of bulk it up. And this will be for tomorrow's hamburger buns or pizza dough. For dinner, we are just having some leftovers. I have some leftover taco salad, and I think we're just grabbing stuff out of the refrigerator for dinner tonight. So nothing fancy. It's nice and cold. It's been in the fridge for probably 5 hours, 6 hours. All right, we're going to taste test. Do you want to be on camera?
No, just listen to your taste test.
That is boozy. Very good though.
More coffee or boozy?
Delicious. It's boozy. salad for dinner. Maybe so much prettier.
We want the king. Well, it's just easy.
I'm just out here in the garden